As the sun went down, the queues filed on, many thousands willing to wait, wanting to capture this moment in history. It was a sombre march through part of the capital where the usual fun stood still. Queues at times stretched 3 miles. People waited for hours. But for so many, this made it all worth it. In the ancient Westminster Hall, a final chance for reflection, for respect, and for the lucky like Jeannie who met the Queen, remembering too.
She has this intense enthusiasm. And then she looked up and she saw me in a beautiful smile, amazing skin, wonderful eyes, and that tiny crown on top of the coffin. And it just made your heart turn over. Oh, a truly great lady.
I've come from quite a military family, so the Queen has always been quite part of our family. And I just felt that I needed to. She's always been in our life. She's like an extra grandmother to us, really, and we've lost that.
Amongst those who waited were many who served, who called the Queen their boss. John left his home in Dorset at 2:30 a.m. yesterday, so determined to say thank you.
Went past the casket and obviously, as a serviceman, saluted. And I wanted to make sure I did it right, because she was a stickler on parades for making sure everything was right. A lot of people see her as a person rather than the Queen, and that's what she was to me as well.
There is a real poignancy to the fact that even now, in the dead of night, people just keep coming. And this queue snakes for miles and is expected to grow in the coming days. Everyone's here to, in their own way, share something that's very public and historic, but also personal and intimate too. It was yesterday when the Queen made her final departure from the place she called the office, flanked by those who served her, followed by her 4 children, along with Princes William and Harry. The grief of her people public, applause breaking out for their Queen.
Barra party, slow, march.
And finally, she was transported inside from the gun carriage that bore her, her extended family watching on as her lying in state began. After what must have been a wearying few days, the King returned to his home in Highgrove. He will rest and reflect today. But no such rest for some. In the very early hours, rehearsals for the funeral which will take place here on Monday.
Gun carriage crew will remove headrest.
An empty coffin for now, and a sense of how moving it will be. But before that, tens of thousands will pass through here. A nation's turn to say thank you. Helen Ann Smith, Sky News, Westminster.